Welcome back to another Marvel Rivals video, everybody. And I just want to say before we get started, thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the last one. Like, tons of comments constantly coming in. Over 25,000 views, which for a channel that has less than 2,000 subscribers, that's a lot. All in 6 days or something like that. So thanks for all that support. I'm definitely here to stay for Marvel Rivals. I want to see this game succeed. I want to see more gameplay of it. I want to play it myself. So stick around for more of that coming very, very soon. But today's video, we're talking about locations, maps for the game. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about maps for characters that are already established in the game, because much like Overwatch does, I think they're going to do a similar thing here with maps where each character is going to kind of have their own map. Overwatch does that with, like, obviously Junkertown. That's Junkrat's map. I forgot most of the map's names at this point, but every map corresponds with a certain character in that game. Route 66 is Ash and McCree's, or I guess his name's not McCree anymore, Cassidy. So I'm going to be doing that with this game with these characters that we know about, which I think we have 18 characters so far. I'm going to be listing 10 maps though. 2 maps that we already know about that are in the game might not be maps that actually correspond with anyone that's currently in the game. So maybe that's like a look into the future that these 2 characters might be coming. But right now we have Asgard, or it's actually a new version of Asgard, so I don't know, it might be like a map for Loki. But we also know that Tokyo 2099 is going to be in the game, which might be a hint that Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, is coming. I also kind of pointed him out at the end of the last video on a poster that I found him on during my whole trailer breakdown, so I think he might be coming to the game. But yeah, those are the 2 maps that we know about so far. They don't really line up with anyone in the roster unless Loki and Asgard again. But yeah, let's just hop into my 10 maps corresponding with certain characters that I want to see in the game. And if I don't have iconic enough locations in mind, definitely leave your comments down below of what you would want, or finish off the roster since I'm only going to be naming 10. First up, for the character that I want to play most personally, Magik. I mean, it's kind of obvious. We should get a limbo map, just completely limbo. I could already imagine the skybox for the map. We see demons flying around in the background. Maybe not too red tinted because, I mean, that could get a little annoying to play on. But yeah, I think that would just be a really cool location to see in this game. Don't be afraid to switch it up. We can go to Asgard. We can go to Tokyo 2099 on a rainy night. We can go to hell. We can go to limbo. And also, what something Overwatch does is they change the payload on every single map, or at least most of them. So on Junkertown, for example, you're escorting a bank vault with a bunch of gold. On another map, you're escorting something that has Doomfist's gauntlet inside of it. I think on Hollywood, it's like a car with a guy inside of it, a limo or something, I forgot. But so far we've seen on Asgard, you're escorting the 2 goats from the Thor Love and Thunder movie. They're in the comics as well. I just didn't read those, so I know those goats from the movie. That movie was awful. But yeah, I can imagine some kind of escort payload on this map full of skulls, and I don't know, maybe you can have Mephisto sitting on top of it and you're escorting him through the map. He's on a throne or something, I don't know. Yeah, a limbo map for Magik I think would be very cool, and just for the X-Men in general. Next up, I think for Namor, we should definitely have an Atlantis map. Not everybody needs to be like underwater. You can be in glass tubes. The whole map can be a big maze down there. But I mean, Atlantis, who wouldn't want an Atlantis map in this game? Whether that's just Atlantis or Talokan from the second Black Panther movie, either one works. Underwater place, very fun. The payload could be Namor's throne with the little shark teeth like that. It could be a fish in a giant bubble. I don't know. I just think Atlantis would be a super sick location to go to and battle on. Another location here for Groot would be Planet X, the Groot homeworld. I think this could be super fun to adapt into a game. Just a very nice looking foresty map where maybe you can look in the background, the skybox and stuff, see a bunch of Groot walking around out there. It wouldn't be too iconic, like not a lot of people know about his homeworld. I don't even really know about it, but I would like to see it, and it'd definitely be one of the more unique locations in the game. Just a foggy, like swampish planet with a giant aurora above it or something. Another location that I think would be really cool is just Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, but not like battling out on the streets of New York into the Sanctum, but the Sanctum can kind of be like the midway checkpoint of the escort or something, and the way you get to it is through that big portal room that we see Doctor Strange in, where there's a bunch of portals that lead to different biomes. You can go out to the snow, you can go out somewhere else. Just a big interconnected middle of the map, which is the Sanctum, but then everything else that branches off from it is like portals to different biomes. I think that'd be sick. Very creative. Don't know if they'd ever do that, but I think it would be super cool, because I feel like this game will have like gimmicky maps like that, some with extra destruction that like can like break the map in the middle or something. Having a map that you traverse through portals through the center to different locations, I think could be a very fun gimmick. Another map we gotta see, Black Panther's in the game. Wakanda. Obviously. They could make a really awesome map where you fight through the golden city of Wakanda, that big city that we see in the movies. Plenty of stuff they'd be able to do with Wakanda, whether it's like the big open areas that we see them fight at in Infinity War or whatever, to like those neon bullet trains underneath Wakanda. Lots you can do there, lots of scenery, and it would be really interesting to just see what the devs come up with for Wakanda. For Spider-Man, I was gonna just say like New York, but I'm actually saving New York, so you'll see that in a second. For Spider-Man, since he banishes all of his villains here, the Raft. I feel like, I mean, maybe there's a better character that they can introduce into the game, and then the Raft could be their map. But I mean, just as a Spider-Man map, the Raft would be really cool. Just this whole island that you're battling on, escorting a payload through prison. Don't know if that would be too close quarters, or they'd be able to open it up in their own ways. Obviously, the maps are not going to be accurate to any comic, or if we've ever seen the locations on screen. They have to make them into actual playable maps. So they'd find their own ways to do that with the Raft. Obviously, it's not just going to be all indoors, but that would be really cool to see. And they can even like do a lot of Easter eggs in the Raft, put a bunch of supervillains in cells. Maybe you can hear noises coming from certain areas. I don't know, but that would be a sick map. On to New York. Penny Parker's map. New York in the year 3145. Don't know if she's from a different year in the comics, but at least the Spider-Verse version, that's the year she's from. And I know the backstory behind this game is two worlds are colliding, basically. Like there's two different Doctor Dooms, and they're like making their universes collide and battle each other. Doctor Dooms are just really into Overwatch, I guess. So I don't know if one of those worlds is gonna be 3145, but probably not. It's like 2099 and then just current day worlds. I don't know. I'm sure we'll be able to go to different locations from different years in the future. I don't think it'll just be restricted to what these two universes are in the story, or I don't think they should like limit themselves to just that. So going to the year 3145, or you know, you can just make Penny in this universe from 2099, which is one of the worlds that's colliding together. Either way, a futuristic version of New York City. While I feel like in Marvel, I've gotten enough of New York, seeing a future version of it never hurts, and this is a game. They could do some crazy things with New York. We could be escorting a taxi. Think about that. Insane gameplay. This next location I thought of for either Mantis or Star-Lord. Either one works for this one. Ego. Just fighting literally on Ego. This map could have a crazy gimmick where certain events happen, or it kind of like changes over the course of the match because it's a living planet. I think this could be really fun to play on. And even on this map, like as the match goes on, you can hear Ego's voice coming through or something. There's like this deep voice over the whole map. Maybe he's commentating on the map. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a thing that happens just because, I mean, we got the Guardians in the game, we got Star-Lord, we got Mantis. It only makes sense having Ego. You can't have him as a playable character. I mean, you can, but not the planet. Having the actual planet would be sick. Even if it's just like an Easter egg in one of the other maps, you just see its face in the sky. That'd be kind of terrifying. But yeah, an ever-changing, evolving map where as the timer goes up or as the payload gets to its checkpoint, something happens with the planet and it just like changes a little bit. For number 9 here, this is either going to be for Scarlet Witch or Magneto. I think more people would like the Magneto version of this, but I was thinking the floating Sokovia from Age of Ultron for Scarlet Witch's location, which would be kind of messed up, but honestly a floating island would be kind of fun. But then I was thinking, wait, we can instead have an even cooler map, Magneto's map, Asteroid M. Still a floating island basically, and they can kind of do anything they want with Asteroid M. But yeah, I think that Magneto's in the game. That would be a pretty cool map to represent Magneto. So I don't know much about Asteroid M. I know it as a Marvel Snap location. Overwatch had a map where, oh, it was so annoying, but there were certain sections where you can get anti-gravity. They could totally do that with Asteroid M. Or there's tons of other planets as well where you'd be able to get some anti-gravity for the characters. But yeah, I forgot, is Asteroid M in the planet or outside of it? Either way, I know he like sets it up so that no one would want to shoot it down, because if they did, it would cause like devastating like annihilation of Earth basically. Large impact if they shot it down. So wherever it is, you'd be seeing in the backdrop of the map, Earth, giant Earth. So giant Earth on one side, space on the other. It'd be pretty cool. Before we get to number 10, we got some honorable mentions, of course. There's X-Men in this game. Obviously, we should all hope that Xavier's school is here, the mutant school, but we'd probably want to wait for Professor X himself to actually be in the game for that to be his map. And one last honorable mention, which could go to another Guardian as well. Nowhere. The big Head of the Celestial Nowhere. That as well would be an awesome map to go through. If you haven't seen the Guardians Holiday Special, it takes place almost fully on, actually no, it does not take place almost fully on Nowhere, but they're on Nowhere a lot. If we got a decorated holiday special Nowhere, I think that would be amazing. Like an actual very festive map that would be fun to play on. They could even bring in Kevin Bacon for the map. Who knows? There are so many Marvel locations in all of Marvel that you could put in this game. I'm only thinking ones for these characters and probably not even the best ones, so let me know down below. I'm an MCU fan, not a comic fan. I know a lot about the comics. I know a lot about all these different characters that aren't just in the MCU, but at heart, I know more about the MCU than all of the rest of it. But yeah, before the MCU, I was fully just video game based Marvel stuff, so Ultimate Alliance, all that stuff. So if I'm not calling out the best possible comic locations for these characters, let me know in the comments. But be nice about it. But for number 10 here, an Iron Man map, Avengers Tower. It's basic, it's classic. How they would do it, would it be a lot of verticality? Would it be mostly down below in New York and then Avengers Tower is just a part of the map? I don't know. It would probably all take place somewhere on top of it, kind of like the Overwatch map where it's a giant skyscraper. What is that map called? I need to look it up. Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower is a great map in Overwatch. It's not a payload map, so it kind of makes more sense not being a payload map, but maybe they're gonna have multiple modes in this game, and Avengers Tower can be the Lijiang Tower of this game. Yeah, I think they could make their own version of Avengers Tower where it's a much more expanded up top, much bigger battleground to fight on. But yeah, it'd be cool to see. There are probably plenty of other Iron Man locations as well. I'm thinking of the F1 racetrack that Whiplash shows up in Iron Man 2, but that map would just be like a circle. They'd have to expand that in their own way as well. But either way, an Iron Man map where you push around a Lamborghini or something, some kind of Iron Man rich person vehicle, that'd be funny and fantastic. But yeah, so anyways, that is my picks for these characters and the maps that could relate to them in the game. Again, I'm pretty sure so far we only have 2 confirmed maps, but I'm guessing more maps will be coming and they will all relate to our main roster here. So let me know your picks down below for these characters. Let me know picks for characters that aren't in the game yet as well. Some characters are really hard to think of like actual iconic locations for them that would work in a video game style, like the Punisher. Like I could see Hell's Kitchen working as a map, but I'd probably want that to be Daredevil's map. And when you have places like Planet X and Limbo, Ego, and Wakanda, it's kind of hard to put another New York map in the mix. So that's why I didn't pick like Punisher or anyone else. Like Counter Earth for Rocket Raccoon would be kind of cool, but again, that might come with like High Evo as a character. Either way, again, let me know your picks down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Go check out my main channel, Just Kevin Bennett, if you want to see reactions to Marvel stuff, Star Wars stuff, anything like that. And I'll see you guys in the next Marvel Rivals video very soon.